Good morning, everybody. Hello, welcome to another video. Again, I don't do intros, so you know the title of the video, why main character energy can be a problem. So first of all, we're going to explain kind of what main character energy is if you haven't heard the term or you've heard it, but you haven't heard it explained. So main character energy is basically when somebody is like the main character. If you're watching a show or something, you notice that the main character of the story often has certain characteristics. They are the center of every scene. They are typically very important to the story, obviously, but the main character kind of like moves the story along and is always the focal point. So when you yourself have main character energy, or you are feeling like the main character, that's when you're out with your friends or you're doing something and you feel like all eyes are on you. You are the center of everything. Typically this gives you some kind of confidence, or you just embody and imbue this like confidence into everything you're doing. And certain people have been described as, oh, well, she has main character energy, like she's always the center. She's always the focus of whatever's going on. If you're going out with your friends clubbing or whatever, this person who's main character, typically kind of guides everything, dictates stuff. When she starts feeling bad, everybody starts feeling bad. There's a lot of ideas about main character energy. And we're going to talk about them today. So first of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about the good things about main character energy, and then we're going to get into the real tea, because I've been thinking about this a little bit. So the good side of main character energy, or being the main character, whatever, is that you are confident. You often don't have a lot of self-doubt. Sometimes you can, and sometimes that can be like hidden under a layer of like false confidence, and that's not really good. But typically, like my friends who have this whole main character energy kind of thing going on, typically they are pretty positive, pretty outgoing. Obviously they thrive in social situations most of the time. They kind of like run the show, and it can be really fun hanging out with them, especially when they are having a good time. It can be so much fun to go out with them and just to kind of be a side character almost during their adventures, and that can be its own joy. You can find joy in being around those people and really getting just to spectate almost, but in kind of a good way. It's like being a wallflower, but it's better than that, because you still feel a part of it. And a good person who has this main character kind of energy will make you feel like you're part of it, like you are in the center with them. And that can be just the most amazing feeling. You can typically like fall in love with these people because you're like, man, I want to be part of their life forever. Like, I love what they're doing. I want to be this. So that's the really good side of this kind of attribute or characteristic that I'm talking about. The negative side, so this is why I'm actually making the video, is because I was thinking about this, and I was thinking of some people that I know who, like I said, when you go out with them, or when you're going for a walk with them or whatever, and they're feeling good, you feel good. They really embody that, and they make you feel really good. However, when I'm with these particular people and they are not doing well, their life isn't going exactly as they want, they are struggling, they are going through difficulties and strife, they become a living nightmare. They become so hard to be around because they bring everybody down. They make you feel awful. They bring the whole tone of the situation down. And that's not good, because these people kind of, they project whatever they're feeling. So if they're feeling great, everybody feels great. But when they're feeling bad, they try to make everyone feel bad, and they can get very jealous and very difficult to be around. So I'm thinking of one person in particular because of this video. And when this person is upset and difficult, they are really, really difficult to be around. They bring me down. They make me feel gross. They they kind of spiral, and there's nothing I can do or say to persuade them to kind of change or to look on the bright side. There's really nothing that I can do. They just have to work through it. I mean, we like to think that like we can help out our friends and things like that, but really you can only help yourself. You can only protect yourself and grow inwards. So I think it's very frustrating, and I'll be honest, I will hang out with this person, and man, it's just like, oh, I've got to avoid them until they feel better. You know, there is really nothing I can say or do. I can try and be positive and give advice and just listen to them, not even give advice, just like hear them out. And yet they don't want to hear it. They are going to be really upset. And the other problem is that I myself, I think we all have our own version of this main character energy within us. And when you are around another person who is really the embodiment of this like main character, if you start to act like the main character and you project some of that positivity and some of that energy, they hate it. They get so envious, angry. They wish that they were you, and they will try and pull you down so viciously. And this is at the root of why I'm making this video, is because when I'm hanging out with this individual and they aren't doing well, they aren't achieving what they'd like to achieve, they aren't really self-actualizing and really like thriving, but I am, they become so almost hateful. It's really vicious, and it's so surprising because you would never think that this person could embody this energy and try and like tear you down. But and I don't even know if they realize that they are doing it. You know, they feel bad, and then when I say like, oh, like I'm doing really well, like, you know, life is going well, I'm working hard, I'm trying to achieve what I'm trying to achieve, and they get so defensive and so angry, and they become hateful. And honestly, like, this person gossips, they talk badly, like and I love this person very dearly, and you know, they are someone who's very special to my heart, but this whole concept of if I'm not at the center, nobody should be, is really bad, and it's really difficult. And I don't know, like I'm sort of making this video as a way of like processing how this person treats me and dealing with it, because it's hard to deal with, because you do love this person and you want them to succeed. But at the same time, they are not in your court right now, and they are currently working through their own troubles and own difficulties. And I think a lot of that stems from this idea of main character energy, because some people, when they're not the center, they don't want to be involved. You know, I'm somebody who I really don't mind. I'm happy to lead the group and decide where we go and decide what we do and, you know, make the plans and execute them. And I'm happy to be in that role. But I'm also very happy just to tag along and hang out. You know, I'll hang out with other people's friend groups and other people's sort of sphere of influence, and I'm just happy to be on the side observing and you know, enjoying the time. But some people really can't do that. Some people need to be the center of the posse, the center of the group, the main character, and that comes with some big problems, because when they're not happy, and it becomes very toxic, and you just kind of have to avoid them in some respects. I've known people before who embody this characteristic much worse than the person I'm dealing with. And I've had to cut them out of my life, because the sheer amount of energy it takes to deal with that kind of personality and that kind of perspective is just not worth it. You know, like, friendship should be like this mutual agreement between two people or a few people, where I've got your back, you've got mine. It's mutually respectful. If I'm going to call you and tell you all about my problems one day, you can call me the next day and tell me all about yours. You know, like, it should be this reciprocal thing. It's never going to be 50-50, but it's got to be even, and it's got to even out. So I don't know. I'm interested in your guys' ideas and comments on this topic. I think main character energy and this whole concept is very interesting. You know, it's interesting to have to see perspectives from other angles and to deal with things like this. So I'm very interested to know what you guys think, but yeah, that's currently what I'm dealing with. I don't spend a lot of time actually worrying about it or anything. I don't worry about it at all. But it's just something that I've learned and I've understood that this is a fact. I've got to deal with it. And yeah, so I don't know. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on main character energy and being the focal point and being the center. And I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.